an act to secure homesteads to actual settlers on the public domain. Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled, that any person who is the head of a family or who has arrived at the age of 21 years and is a citizen of the United States, or who shall have filed his declaration of intention to become such as required by the naturalization laws of the United States, and who has never borne arms against the United States government or given aid and comfort to its enemies, shall, from and after the 1st January 1863, be entitled to enter 1/4 section or a less quantity of appropriated public lands upon which said person may have filed the preemption claim, or which may, at the time of the application is made, be subject to preeminence at $1.25 or less per acre, or 80 acres or less of such unappropriated lands, at $2.50 per acre, or to be located in a body in conformity to the legal subdivisions of the public lands, and after the same shall be surveyed, and provided that any person owning and residing on land may, under the provision of this act, enter other land lying contiguous to his or her said land, which shall not, with the land so already owned and occupied, exceed in the aggregate 160 acres. Section 2. And be it further enacted that the person applying for the benefit of this act shall, upon application to the register of the land office in which he or she is about to make such entry, make affidavit before the said register or receiver that he or she is the head of a family, or is 21 years or more of age, or shall have performed service in the Army or Navy of the United States, and that he has never borne arms against the government of the United States or given aid and comfort to its enemies, and that such application is made for his or her exclusive use and benefit, and that said entry is made for the purpose of actual settlement and cultivation, and not either direct or indirectly for the use or benefit of any other person or persons whomever, and upon filling the said affidavit with the register or receiver, and on payment of $10, he or she shall thereupon be permitted to enter the quantity of land specified, provided, however, that no certificate shall be given or patent issued therefore until the expiration of 5 years from the date of such entry, and if at the dead his widow expiration of such time, or at any time within 2 years thereafter, the person making such entry, or if he be dead, his widow, or in case of her death, his heirs or devisee, or in case of a widow making such entry, her heirs or devisee, in case of her death, shall provide by 2 credible witnesses that he, she, or they have resided upon or cultivated the same for the term of 5 years immediately succeeding in the time of filling the affidavit aforesaid, and shall make affidavit that no part of said land has been alienated, and that he has borne rule allegiance to the government of the United States. Then, in such case, he or she or they, if at that time a citizen of the United States, shall be entitled to a patent, as in the other cases provided for by law, and provided further that in the case of the death of both father and mother, leaving an infant child or children under 21 years of age, the right and fee shall excuse to the benefit of said child or children, and the executioner, administrator, or guardian may, at any time within 2 years after the death of the surviving parent, and in accordance with the laws of the state which such children for the time being have their domicile, sell said land for the benefit of said infants, but for no other purpose, and the purchaser shall acquire the absolute title by the purchase, and be entitled to a patent from the United States on payment of the office fees and sum of money herein specified. And be it further enacted that the Register of the Land offices shall note such applications on the tract books and plats of his office, and keep a register of such entries, and make return thereof to the General Land Office together with the proof upon which they have been founded. And be it further enacted that no land acquired under the provisions of this Act shall in any event become liable to the satisfaction of any debts or debts contracted prior to the issuing of the patent therefore. And be it further enacted that at any time after the filing of the affidavit as required in the second section of this Act, and before the expiration of the 5 years aforesaid, it shall be proven after due notice to the settlor and to the satisfaction of the Register of the Land Office that the person having filed such affidavit shall have actual changed his or her residence or abandoned the said land for more than 6 months at a time, then and that land in the so entered shall revert to the government. And be it further enacted that no individual shall be permitted to acquire title to no more than 1/4 section under the provisions of this Act, and that the Commissioner of the General Land Office is hereby required to prepare and such rules and regulations consistent with this Act as shall be necessary and proper to carry its provisions into effect, and that the registers and receivers of the several land offices shall be entitled to receive the same compensation for any lands entered under the provisions of this Act that they are now entitled to receive when the same quantity of land is entered with money, 1/2 to be paid by the person making the application and the time of so doing, and the other half of the issue of the certificate by the person to whom it may be issued. But this shall not construe to enlarge the maximum of compensation now prescribed by law for any register or receiver, provided that nothing contained in this Act shall be so construed as to impair or interfere in any manner whatever with existing preemption rights, and provided further that all persons who have filed their applications for a preemption right prior to the passage of this Act shall be entitled to all privileges of this Act, provided further that no person who has served or may hereafter serve for a period of not less than 14 days in the Army or Navy of the United States, either regular or volunteer, under the laws thereof, during the existence of an actual war, domestic or foreign, shall be deprived of the benefits of this Act on account of not having attained the age of 21 years. And be it further enacted that the 5th section of the Act entitled An Act in Addition to Act more effectually to provide for the punishment of certain crimes against the United States and for other purposes, approved the 3rd of March in the year 1857, shall extend to all oaths, affirmations, and affidavits required or authorized by this Act. And be it further enacted that nothing in this Act shall be so constructed as to prevent any person who has availed him or herself of the benefits of the 1st section of this Act from paying the minimum price or the price to which the same may have guaranteed for the quantity of land so entered at any time before the expiration of the 5 years, and obtained a patent therefore from the government, as in other cases provided by law, on making proof of settlement and cultivation as provided by existing laws granting preemption rights. Approved, May 20th, 1862.